Welcome to Beautifully Ruined, the podcast where we believe that being beautifully ruined isn't the end, but the beginning of a remarkable journey. I'm your host, Adrian Calagon, and today, you guys, we have made it to episode number 4. And this episode is titled, Relationships is Currency. As far back as I remember, I've always struggled with relationships, whether it be friendships, whether it be, like a intimate relationship. Like, I've always struggled with it, given the fact that, I've always loved people. I've always wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt. I've always wanted to expect the good in people, right? And one of the first lessons that my grandmother taught me was, that ain't your friend. I'll never forget, I had been playing marbles. I met this guy named Jimmy. I'm not even 6 years old, and I'm playing marbles with him, and I bring him home the first day. I'm introducing him to my grandmother. I'm saying, hey, this is my friend. And my grandmother didn't say hello. She didn't say, how you doing, Jimmy? The first thing out of her mouth was, in front of Jimmy, was, that ain't your friend. And I'm just trying to convince her, Grandma, but it is my friend. This is my friend. He is right here. This is Jimmy. And little did I know, possibly not even a week later, I'm going outside and I'm trying to find Jimmy, right? And I happen to roll up on Jimmy. And as I roll up on Jimmy, he's with these other group of guys. And so, I see him like, hey, what's up? I want to play marbles too. And Jimmy acted as if he did not know me. And I was so confused because I'm just thinking to myself, like, bruh, you know me. I took you home to my grandma. I gave you some of my marbles. We had a great time. I only met you once, but you know me, right? And I left. And I'll never forget, this feeling that I had. That was probably the first time that I ever experienced, rejection, right? I didn't know what it was, but I was really, really down. So I get home and I tell my grandmother, hey, Grandma, Jimmy, the one that you said that wasn't my friend, I went to try to play marbles with him, with his other group of friends, and he acted like he didn't know me. And my grandma's reply was, see, I told you that ain't your friend. And it's funny because after that, before we had never really had our own little set schedule. I would go outside, play, or go to other family members' houses and things like that, but we never had a schedule together. But after that, we start going to all of her friends' house. And all of her friends were pretty much older women or even some older men. And my grandmother was pretty much like the hood socialite. She knew everybody from the cafes to the bingo halls, you name it. She knew everyone. So our days would start at the top of the day. I wake up to hearing blues, her smoking a cigarette, breakfast ready. And then after that, we're out the door. I have my big bag ready to gather cans from all her friends. And in addition to gathering cans from her friends, I would then do little odd favors for them, whether it's going to the local store, getting chewing tobacco or cigarettes, or playing numbers, or getting them little snacks. And in return, they'll let me keep the change, or they'll give me all of their cans that they saved up. And that's how I made money on a daily basis. And in addition to doing these odd favors for them and, getting this money for them in exchange, they really dropped a lot of words of encouragement, seeds in me, seeds that I didn't even know that I would need for later situations that were to come. And what was so funny is that, I told my grandmother about my friend, and what she immediately did after that was showing me what real friends look like. And in retrospect, I now know that we were visiting some of her friends that were either disabled, or very elderly, where they couldn't move around like they used to. They weren't able to go do things like they were able to. They didn't have the funds like they maybe had in their, heyday. And maybe a lot of them didn't even have extended family. So they really depended on my grandmother and myself to actually come on our daily route on that day. And as I look back, I'm thinking, as a kid, I'm thinking that, a friend is just someone there to play with, have fun with, or do this. But now, when I look back at it, not only did I see what real friends were, real friends poured into you. Real friends when your health is gone, when your job is gone, when your family is gone. You have that friend there that you probably known your entire life, or maybe you just even met, but they're the ones that can help you out of a situation. And a lot of times, even when I look back in my life, a lot of doors have opened simply based off of relationships and me valuing someone and me valuing the moment that I have with them and pouring into them when maybe I didn't have nothing else to pour in, but I did have some positivity to pour in. Was able to do maybe this small gesture or do something within my needs that little did I know is something that they were in dire need of, or just even someone being, just a companionship, being there for them, hearing them talk or discuss whatever. But what I found to be true was, for instance, Miss Willie. One day she told me, "Adrian, you're going to be great." And I literally looked at Miss Willie like, "What are you talking about, lady? Great. Like, I'm here. I'm good." Like I didn't understand the idea of great, like that I would do something and I'll be good at it, right? I really didn't grasp that. But later, come to find out, once my grandmother died and I end up, living with this family, that family, this family, that family, I never forgot those words. And all I could hear in a lot of situations that I've seen on the news have been the end for a number of people. I can remember Miss Willie's voice saying, "Adrian, you're going to be great." And it was that seed, that currency that was, to be honest with you, invaluable. People have given me monetary things. People have even opened doors. But that seed of encouragement that resonated somewhere down in me gave me the fire, gave me the drive to try this thing out, to try that thing out, to try this thing out. And to give you an example, it led me to science fairs. I don't know how I got there, but I got there to science fairs, right? And upon the first try, I sucked. I didn't know anything about science fairs. But then, I got to a certain level. I studied the competition. I saw what they were doing, how they did it. And believe it or not, I won through the middle school. I got to like the district level. I got to the district level, and now I'm seeing what they're doing at the district level. And I'm like, okay, I gotta really bring it. So I bring it to the district level. So after the district level, I'm graduating, I'm going to high school. In my mind, all I'm thinking is, bro, I'm going to get to state level and beyond. I'm going to get there, right? And I didn't know how I was going to get there because my family, we weren't rich. My dad weren't engineers or anything like that. And I noticed a lot of the people that I talked to at the district level, their parents were, right? So I ended up being at this high school that was at TSU, on TSU campus, Middle College for Technology Careers. And I recall Miss Willie's voice, "Adrian, you're gonna be something great." And I recall the situation with my grandmother, how it was those relationships that were basically currency for them and currency for my grandmother, currency for me, right? And I walked all over the university. I introduced myself to every engineer there, and all I could think was, I don't know these people, but somebody here is going to give me access to something here, and I'm going to leverage this in order to win at this higher level for science fairs. And sure enough, not only did I end up meeting professors who gave me the guidance I needed, assisted, but also opened up other doors where, I ended up getting a full scholarship. I ended up traveling to South Africa, and I went on to actually win at the state level, to actually place. And it was because of those relationships that I was able to do that. And with all that being said, is that when everything else fails, the end of the day, the only thing matters is your relationships.